Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and today I'm joined by Angel.
Hello.
It's been a little while, but we're back with Guiding Light. April 1995. We watched 5 episodes, specifically April 10th to the 15th, 1995. Trigger warning, we're probably going to be discussing sexual assault. So if that's triggering for you, then skip this episode. That being said, I will roll our credits and we will get into it. This was a really good week, and I feel like I say that every week that we watch it.
Yeah, it was.
Even when nothing happens, I'm just so like drawn in by these characters.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could leave the Lucy for like the last thing we discussed since that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
So Holly is unemployed, and she wants to use the offices at what's the name of the paper?
Oh, I forgot the name of the paper.
The paper that Fletch works at with Tangi, which I thought she didn't work there anymore.
Yeah, I thought she didn't work there anymore. Yeah.
Because half of the week she was just bartending, and I was like, she's just a
well, no, she has. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot she has a second job.
Yeah, I didn't know if she was just like a full-time bartender now since she's leaving soon. But yeah, so Holly is using the office to, I guess, job search. And she makes it known that things are done with her and Roger. Mm-hmm. And her and Tangi had a nice moment. I was like, are we friends now that you're leaving?
Hey, look. Sometimes it'd be like that.
And I was like, now I kind of don't want you to leave because I'm interested in this dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
So then Roger shows up looking for Holly, not knowing that she quit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not happy that she quit. He goes into the office. So I don't remember this from last time. He mentions to Holly to rein her back in that they got to do something because Chrissy has left Ross and I don't know where she is. Like, we got to find her. And I'm like, Blake left?
Yeah, she went to the boarding house. Remember when they recast David and they had the announcement and he came in with the plates and she came in and said, look, I need a place to stay.
Oh, see, I remember him. I remember his part because of the recast, but I didn't remember her part.
Yeah, she's in the boarding house now.
Now, because the last thing I remembered was her and Diana kind of confessing pretty much everything, her financial situation, and Blake saying we're gonna go to your father, and they did. I didn't remember her leaving though. Was she just kind of like you?
Yeah, she left. She's like, she put her hands up. She's like, I'm gone. I'm leaving. Bye.
Okay. All right. I mean, I figured as much. I didn't think it was as dramatic as Roger was making it seem. But like, he was just doing that to lure, Holly back in to his circle. He's like working with Alexandra to make Holly jealous.
I think so. One of the dialogues I heard was like, if Roger saying to Alexandra, if this is my favorite ex-wife, and she said, shut up, Roger.
I didn't know they were married.
Yeah, when Beverly McKenzie played her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
They were like some I don't know, weird brother-sister scenes between Alexandra and Alan. Almost romantic vibey, and I'm like, stop this. Like this whole we're starting over, I love you so much, you're my brother, we trust you fully now, and I'm like, I feel like this isn't gonna last long. You're not the type of characters that are honest.
They're not. They really aren't.
Now I feel like you told me this, but it's been a really long time. Alexandra dated Fletcher?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, because she was like talking to his son once from the limo, asking like where he was, right? There were scenes where I thought maybe she might be interested in Buzz.
Yeah, I got that vibe too.
And I wasn't sure if they were like chem testing. And didn't he kind of ask her out on a date?
He kind of did, yeah. He did, I think. Yeah.
But then he I don't know, did he fully commit to it or did he like back out? He was like, I don't know.
No, there was never really a follow up to that, I don't think.
I mean, good for him and good for her. I just know that he would never be able to support her the lifestyle that she's used to.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, no.
Yeah, so but I was kind of liking that. I was just like, huh, she really likes people that are like compared to her in the lower class.
Yeah.
Between Fletcher and now Buzz. So Buzz is planning this whole like Fifth Street gala, like fundraiser, because we're still dealing with the aftermath 4 months later of the fire. And he like got the support of the Sisters of the American Revolution, and permits were not filled out. I feel like the sisters would have like, they organize things all the time. Why wouldn't they have?
Why wouldn't they fill out the permit? I wonder if they thought. Now this is just my theory. I wonder if they thought because the place was like, you know, not on fire. It was on fire and it's being rebuilt, that they didn't really need a permit, but you still would have to do a permit, even if the place is dilapidated.
Right. I guess because like they were saying, with this many people, you need like a certain amount of EMTs, police, firemen, in case anything gets out of hand for some reason. Because I assume there's food, so that means there's going to be some kind of kitchen happening. So they need, I guess, to have all their bases covered, which I get. I like the cop that was like, listen, I don't want to do this. I actually want to come, but like my boss is forcing me to like serve you.
Then Cutter comes in. So no, this is taking care of it.
And I guess Tangy took care of it.
Yeah.
Because now I feel like they're chem testing Tangy and Buzz.
Me too. Okay, here we go.
And I'm like, what is this?
What is going on? Like, you're chem testing Buzz with like 2 people.
She's literally on for 1 more month. And that's it. Maybe 4 weeks, 5 tops.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing. Last ditch effort to save the character. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess Alan Michael has kind of decided that he wants to express his true feelings for Lucy.
We saw that last time. The end of
last time. He like called, left her a voicemail or a message on her machine, I should say. At work, and we'll get to that last. So Eve, she has some kind of cancer. She has a surgery. Rick does the surgery.
Right. Yeah.
They're not sure if it's cancer at that point, but from this worried look on his face and him looking at the x-rays, you kind of tell it's kind of bad. They remove a tumor, and it's malignant. And Eve kind of says that she had researched this, and it's a very rare form of cancer. And I'm like, so it's a soap opera cancer? I don't know.
Yeah.
She's like, there's been 9 cases and only 3 of the 9 have survived. And she's like, and they're not doing so well. And now here she is, number 10. And so she's like, I didn't want to like think that it was this, but I was doing the research. And she's like, and the more I read, I thought if I didn't say it out loud, that it couldn't possibly be this. And it is. So I guess she's just dying.
Yeah. Because I don't remember them getting married.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about. I was like, if they never get married, then I don't know how much longer she has.
Yeah, they never get. I don't think they get married. In fact, I looked it up and they don't get married.
Okay.
They're just engaged.
Okay. I thought it was cute, these little Josh and Annie scenes at the hospital. He kept saying like he has an ache in his heart. She was like, I have to do work. You covered my job messing with me.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that he would take care of the rat situation. I forgot about the rat. So I don't know what happened because I looked down because I started looking up people. But they were like playing around at the hospital, and then Rick walked in, and I was like, ooh, I want to see what happens here. And then I didn't because I went.
You missed the part. You missed the part with them. So I think on the 10th, on the April 10th episode, now I missed something too, because Annie and Rick are hugging and they say, oh yeah, we met, they mentioned that they knew each other in Chicago.
Yeah.
So that connects with when Rick walks in to see Josh and Annie together. When I think it was the dress part.
Oh. Okay.
So they knew each other in Chicago. I know where it goes because you know, you watch opening credits a lot, and sometimes on opening credits they'll like include like a sliver of a scene from the, you know, the part before the opening credits, and that's how I got spoiled. So I'm not going to say anything about Rick and Annie. What I know about Rick and Annie, just know that there is something going on with Rick and Annie from Chicago.
Okay. Because I was remembering her mother, her Annie and her mother talking, or her grandmother. I think it was her grandmother. And she was saying, I just don't want you to get hurt like you did in Chicago or whatever with her last relationship. So the way that they were looking at each other with the dress and everything, I was like, oh, is he her ex? So, but then I started researching people because I wanted to see like what else they've like other soaps they've been on. I don't know if I said this before. Justin Dees was a recap, like a temp Marco Dean on General Hospital.
Oh wow!
Not on General Hospital, One Life to Live.
Oh wow!
And I could see it. Like he has like that goofiness to him. So I'm like, all right, I can see that. So they really give Justin Dees like the big speeches, huh? In the monologues. Because when he was like announcing to everybody and thanking them and how they were gonna have a great gala, I was just like, wow, he's long-winded. I was like, they really give him the Emmy bait, huh?
Yeah. And then they later give it to Ross.
Did they?
Yeah, because like then they'll have him announce like from all of us from your house. Oh God, how did he say it? It's like iconic because like,
really? From our house to yours.
From our house to yours, yeah.
Okay.
They give him like they basically make him the patriarch, which you think they will give it to Justin Dees, but I think when the execs change, they're like, oh, let's give it to, because Ross has been on since the 70s, so let's give it to Jerry Verdorn.
And then they fired him, or he quit because they weren't writing for him.
He went recurring, got One Life to Live, and then they killed his character off.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
So Dinah, like, I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with her because typically I do like characters like her. She's getting on my nerves with this money. So Ross is pretty much like, I'll work 2-3 jobs to pay off this debt. No, rewind. She goes to her mother first.
Wait, rewind, because there's a guy that comes to the door, I think.
Oh, Victor, right?
That's Victor, yeah.
I guess this is the guy that she's been calling and that's been calling her. And he wants her money like now.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, I'll call you when I get it. He's like, no, I'll call you.
I'll call you. Like, what are you saying? Don't worry, I'm around.
So then she goes to her mother and she lies. She says she's in debt, but she lies about how she got into debt. And she says she used a credit card to pay off her credit cards, and she opened more credit cards to pay off the credit cards. And before she knew it, she forgot like what money owed where and whatever.
Whereas in these days, you can just go on your account and just check and see how much you spent.
I don't think you can pay credit cards with credit cards now. I don't think
you can either. No.
Because I tried it once, and it was like, no. They're like, you need a debit, like a bank account. And I was like, shit. It's probably for the best. Otherwise, I'd be in Dinah's situation. So she goes to Vanessa and she tells that lie, and Vanessa's willing to help her. And she's like, I'll give you the money to pay it off. She's like, you just have to like take the job at Lewis Oil, and we'll take, a little bit from your paycheck every week or whatever. And rather than take her mother's help, he gets all prideful and thinks that it's a way for her mother to control her and work this job that she's like, what happened to me exploring my dreams with art? She was like, that was before I found out you were this much in debt. Like, I gotta work, bitch.
I love that's when Vanessa said that.
She's like, fuck your dreams, you owe money. But I was on Vanessa's side. Like,
yeah, me too.
And I was like, now she's annoying me.
Yeah, I mean, if I was in that much debt, I would definitely take the job at Lewis Oil. I mean, how much does it pay? A lot of money, because it's Lewis Oil. Like,
it's Lewis Oil. You could probably pay that off in like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
She's all like, I'm a Chamberlain. I don't deserve to be treated like
Chamberlain.
this. And I was like, I don't know what I'm a Chamberlain means, but okay.
Technically, you're a Marler Chamberlain.
So then she goes to Ross and she's totally acting irrational and tells him the story, like, and how she will not be controlled. And he's like, I'll pay it off, because he doesn't want her to leave, because she says she's going. Where does she say she's going?
Somewhere in South America. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, because she's like my creditors surely will never find me there. Meanwhile, where was she, in Paris?
She was in Paris, yeah.
Yes, well, your creditors went from Paris, France to the United States, so surely they will find you in South America. So he's like, I don't want you to go. He's like, I'll do whatever it takes. He's like, I don't have that kind of money, but like, I'll work 3 jobs. I'll remortgage the house. And I'm like, and
Ross, come on.
I feel like we close with her hugging him, thinking that she's gonna let it happen, and then it opens with the scene saying she's like, no, I can't let you do that. And I was like, well, thank God for that. But then she goes to back, and he goes to the bank and asks them about refinancing to get a mortgage, and I'm like, do not fuck your life for this girl.
Yeah, and then he was saying that, like, okay, the job back at Spalding, because I guess he worked at Spalding. I didn't realize he did. Yeah. And I guess he's in the process of working 3 jobs and refinancing his house. Come on, Ross.
Is one of those jobs working with Blake in her PI thing, or no? That's separate.
I think that's separate. Separate.
She does that with Frank, right?
Yeah, she's with Frank.
We never see Frank working. I just feel like he's
always at the diner.
At the diner.
With Eleni and her big hair.
Visually, I like this new Eleni, but I just feel like they're not doing anything with her.
Not doing anything with her,
yeah. A glorified extra.
Now, before we get to Lucy, there was something very brief that I almost missed with why am I forgetting Amelia Marshall's character? I'm forgetting her name. Jilly. With Jilly and
yeah. She's going back to California already. I was like, didn't you just get back?
Yeah.
And I'm really liking Bridget, which I'm happy about, because she was like, when we first started this, I was like, she's really getting on my nerves.
They're warming her character up again.
But I really do like her. I like her friendship with Lucy, and she's very aware of everything that's going on.
Yeah, they kind of duplicate each other's energy in a good way, not in like it's the same character, but it's like they're just you can tell that they're friends for a good reason.
Yeah, during this, I think, is when I was like starting to look up people, because I feel like I remembered you saying that Lucy basically was a Harley replacement. So I was like looking when Harley comes back, and it matches up with when Lucy leaves, and I'm like, oh, okay, she is. But yeah, so is that everything before we talk about Lucy?
So Sid, I think he gets a job with Spalding, because I remember there was a scene with him and Alan.
Yeah, when he said that to her, because she was like, come with me or whatever, and he was like, I can't, I just got this job or whatever. I wasn't sure if that was real or if he was just saying that to have an excuse why he couldn't go. So I guess ... on that.
Yeah. I think Roger doesn't want her to go, of course, because it's Roger.
Right.
And, yeah. I think, well, actually, she works for him at W something. So.
Yeah. Oh, so I looked up the actor that plays Matt. And when you look him up, it says actor. It may say musician, I'm not really sure, but it also says martial artist, which makes sense with the whole dojo thing that's happening with him. I'm like, that's why they do that. It's part of his personality. He was in a lot of things too. Like he was Ned on GH.
The first Ned.
And then it looks like after Guiding Light was canceled, he went right to One Life to Live, and then no, he went to As the World Turns, and then that was canceled, and then he went to One Life to Live, and then that was canceled. It's like he like went to like the soaps as they were dying.
I don't remember him on both of them. That's the thing. I don't remember him on both of them.
It looks like he may have just played like a judge or a doctor or something, so it was like a guest appearance. not a long-term thing. But I was like, oh, those were all the New York soaps. And I guess at that time, all my children had moved to California, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
That. But yeah, just something I looked up.
Yeah, because GH was in California. Well, is in California, and
he did that before Guiding Light.
Yeah, he did that before Guiding Light. He was in New York. I'm sure because Guiding Light was very long term for him, he settled down there and he didn't want to move to go by coastal, I guess. So
it was his most long term one. I think it said 94 to the end, 2009.
Yeah, he was on and off after a while too. So
okay.
The last remaining Reardon, I believe. So
really,
Yep.
We did see Michelle.
Briefly, yeah.
Briefly, she's very upset about Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I kind of like this. I was like, no offense, but I was like, I don't really want to see Rebecca Budig. I want to see more of this girl.
Yeah, because like, so she so I think so. I looked her up. I was like, when did we last see her? I think she ends like in June, and then there's like there's a whole gap, and then Rebecca Budig comes in November.
Oh, okay.
So I'm guessing like she goes to
boarding school
or stays with because there are Bowers everywhere, I guess. So I'm sure she stays with somebody else in the family.
Okay. I was looking up Mara also because I wanted to see when Lindsay McKeon takes over. Yeah, that was it. There was just like random characters.
Laura Bell Bundy.
Yeah, there was like Laura Bell Bundy, which is a name I've heard, but I've never seen her.
Yeah, Laura. She looks like Kim Zimmer.
She does.
All of them really do in some ways, but like she's the one that looks the most like Kim Zimmer. She
was, or at least was involved in a lot of Broadway, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's involved in a lot of Broadway.
I used to hear her name a lot, and people like would talk about that, and I'm like, who is this girl that everybody's talking about on the message boards and stuff? But okay, so Lucy, I guess we could talk about her.
We'll have to talk about Lucy. Trigger warning for sexual assault.
So we last left off with her being attacked, and now that's over. Thank God. Although they did keep showing it in like little flashes of her memory, we didn't have to have a replay of that necessarily at the beginning. So it's the aftermath. She's kind of like cuddled in a corner. I thought she was at the police station at first.
Yeah.
But then once I heard who was talking, she's outside the diner. They're closed for the night, and she's just listening to like Frank and Buzz and Eleni discuss. And Nadine discuss like her love life and how maybe this Brett guy will be good for her. And some Frank or someone's like, I don't know about him.
Yeah, it's Frank.
They're just discussing it, and she's listening to everything. And she doesn't go in; she leaves. She goes back to the boarding house. And I think this is when Bridget, Matt, Michelle, and there was somebody else. David was there, and they were like playing cards or something. And she came home, and Bridget's all like, "Oh, how was your date?" And she's like, "Oh, good. I'm just tired." And she like goes upstairs, and you could see Bridget's kind of like, "Is everything okay?" So she goes to check on her, and she doesn't really want to talk about it. And she kind of gets out of it because the baby starts crying. But yeah, so she's clearly traumatized. They do, that the shower scene that they do on every show.
Which it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Like I'm like, no, oh no.
Do you know if she was nominated for an award for this, for an Emmy or anything?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I'll have to look it up. I like your cup.
Oh, thanks. She hasn't really, she's still kind of numb. She hasn't really had an emotional reaction to everything that's happened yet. She's just kind of flinchy whenever she is either touched or like Brett is mentioned or Brett's around. And fuck Brett. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. Like, screw
for what he did, and also trying to pretend like everything's okay, like he didn't do anything wrong. Like he's just showing up like, hey, you want to go out tonight? What?
Like, what do you mean you want to go to?
You're a psycho. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And the fact that well, at least I did, I'm not sure if you did. The fact that there were like little hints and signs that he's like this that we saw.
And you know what? He's like trying to get her to go to this the Fifth Street Gala
Gala, yeah.
fundraiser, which I guess has like an old timey theme to it, because everybody has like these grand, like, you know, top hats and suits with tails and these grand dresses. I had the thought because, okay, first of all, she has 2 doors to her room. I didn't know that the boarding houses had like a front and back door to each room.
Yeah.
But so he basically violated her privacy again by entering onto her property, so to speak, to put the dress for her to wear at the gala. I'm like, how that creeped me out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in her head she's like, he can get to me if he wants to. So that's probably freaking her out also. Yeah, it just disgusting. And she ends up hiding. Like, people don't know if she's home or not, because Brett's like knocking on the door. They're not sure if she left for work. She ends up going to work, and this is when Alan Michael tries to, like, he's like, did you get my voice message?
A little before that, he leaves flowers on her desk with a note.
Brett does?
Brett does, yeah.
Oh, I see. I must have looked down at that part, because I saw the flowers, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Did he leave a note?
It was Brett.
Oh. Did he leave a note, though? That said
he left a note, but we didn't see what the note says. It just says Lucy on it.
I hope it wasn't like 10 memories in time last night. Ugh.
I don't know if she opens it or if she just drops it when Alan Michael gets there.
Okay. So yeah, he's like, Alan Michael's like, I want to rework the terms of our professional relationship. And he's like, I don't know how to word this properly. And I guess he says, like, he's interested. But she's just kind of like, you know, zoned out. And she's just kind of like, what? What did you just say?
Yeah. Yeah, because like then his like it's like kind of a cinematic moment where you can see like his face, like his whole face fills up the screen, but then like his forehead kind of gets chopped off, and I'm like, what's this? And I'm like, we're seeing this from Lucy's perspective. So
right, where it's like blurry a little bit almost. Yeah, right. And then Brett's like approaches her at work, and she's just like, she ends up at some point, like, I guess in a closet at work.
Yeah, in the same closet where they made out, and unfortunately, so.
Oh, really? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Her and Brett, or her and Alan Michael?
Her and Brett. Remember, that was when,
yeah.
That was when they made out in the closet, and then he basically put Lucy under the bus with Alan Michael saying, like, oh, well, she was the one who wanted to make out in the closet, even though it was either was mutual or he wanted to. It was something with that. That was one of the first signs for me.
Oh.
We kind of put Lucy under the bus with that.
Oh, but rewinding a little bit. That same night when she was like outside the diner crying, and he went back to the bar, and Alan Michael was there, and he's like, where's Lucy? And he's like, I took her home. He's like, she was tired or whatever.
Tired, she's young, you know how she is.
And then he's like, I wasn't ready for my night to be over. And he immediately just starts dancing with some random girl. I'm like, what?
Ew. What sleazeball.
So, knowing what I know about the situation,
and I know it too.
Him like wearing a disguise, does that happen because everybody finds out what he did to her, and so now he's like trying to disguise himself?
I forgot. So that's the part that's not clicking for me. Why does he dress up and wind up being Marion Crane? I guess that's the name of the character that he plays. I don't know if he gets killed off and then I don't know, not killed off, but like if he gets injured to the point people thought he was dead, and then he
comes back
as Marion Crane. That's a part that I'm not sure of.
Does that happen soon, or is that like in a few months?
It does happen. I think it happens in a few months. No, maybe it happens. I know it happens like for all of '96, but I feel like no, it doesn't. Okay.
No, it ends in January because I read things.
Oh, so wait a minute. So that means that
supposed to. I guess it's all of '95.
Yeah. I didn't realize it happened that quickly. Because I mean, I thought for whatever reason, I thought it was like, oh, it happens like, for a good while.
Because I read, I think Nadine dies in the fall. And from what I saw, because there's 2 actors that play him, I think all of them are gone by January. So I assume that's when.
Yeah, because the second actor steps in. He's a temporary cast, but he plays him during the reveal. Because and I'm forgetting the first actor's name. I'm sorry. Somebody correct me in the comments below. He actually has a mental breakdown because of the story.
Oh wow!
So yeah, that's at least that's what I was told from a reliable person.
And then he came back when like that part was over.
Yeah, he came back, and by that point, the character was like, it was the end of the character. So.
Oh wow. That's wild. Was there anything that I missed that you wanted to mention about this week?
Oh. So going back to something a little lighthearted, not really, but like, yeah. So in the missing part the part you're probably missing, when they had like the press conference with
Buzz.
About Buzz and everything like that. Roger comes in and he says, "Yeah, we're just gonna do a little. We're just gonna do a little. You're just gonna do a little voiceover. I'm gonna use my tape and everything like that. And there's a travel. There's a travel portion that's happening tonight. And then he says." It's gonna be on Portugal, and then when you then fast forward to Fletcher and Roger, and they get into it, and he says, "Yeah, so you want to be a part of my travel thing? It's going to be on Portugal." And then Fletcher punches him in the face.
All right. I forgot when the Fletcher punched him. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another week's worth of Guiding Light. Hopefully we will get more very soon. As always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night. Bye.
Bye.